Shalom. This is Hawud. And as I promised, the book I told y'all that I would read is going to pretty much let y'all know that they've been stealing our stuff. Alright, here we go. This is it. The Journal of the Scholarship and the Arts of the Ancient Order of the Druid in America. But you know this is what, volume 7? Winter Solstice 2020. See this? And you know what this is, right? So that's the I forgot what they call it, Stonehenge. But what does that make? Y'all know what Hebrew letter this is, right? Yeah, now look at Stonehenge again and see what it's saying. Alright, so I'm gonna turn right to where he jumps into it about his thievery, because that's exactly what it is. It's not a long video, so hold on, let me pause this TV. Alright, y'all. Here we go. My druidry, a path of enlightenment. Jill Frew. Jill Frew, PhD, is a clinical psychologist and light bearer. You hear this, right? Light bearer. Who has followed a druid path for over 30 years. She is the author of a Alba Reborn trilogy, a guidebook of druidry, guardians, and Celtic way, under the name Jill Kelly, Light Healing for Children, and May the Golden Road to Heaven lead you home, and is the founder of the Celtic Heaven School of 9-month program of druidry, light healing, enlightenment, CelticHeaven.com. So you take a lifetime of learning, and turn it into 9 months. It just has amazed me with these people. I am moved to share my path with others. After 20 years of living in isolation much of the time, talking with fairies and druid guides, far more than any humans in the outside world. It has been a magical roller coaster, life-changing awakening, and I wonder so often if anyone else out there has gone through similar things. Number one, this is where she's lying at, because if she spoke to any magical being or any fairies, those, I forgot the name of those little people, they would inform her from the gate who the real druids are, and they would inform her from the gate that she's a thief and an imposter. Number one, the Most High's creation is not going to go along with wickedness. It's going to follow the light. It's going to follow his path, not what they're saying. So she's lying already. Animals don't deviate. If you notice that, even when they build cities and roads through their migration paths, and they still take the same thing. So they rarely deviate. So, and not to call these fairies animals, but they're not humans. They are a creation, but they will not go to wickedness. They're not going to do that, and they know what these people are. Alright, where was I at? That just threw me off real quick. Similar things. I can be helpful sometimes to learn about another life journey, especially a druid path that may be different from your own. New ways of seeing the world, both physical and spiritual, come through such stories. For anyone's experiences are needed to develop a holistic sense of spirit ways and druid work. In-tried spirit adventures and methods of learning can also come through. And also you can tell whatever they're learning is not of the Most High, because again, they would tell the truth. Actually, they probably are telling them the truth and just telling them, don't let them niggas know. Excuse my French, but that's probably how they saying it. And precise information is given below about phases of life along the way as well. The specific timing and challenges that I believe happen to all of us meant to be helpful to anyone who wonders about the specifics of the druid path. It would have helped me greatly know all this before I began my own walking so many years ago. May it help me may it help some of you instead. I'm sorry, I'm jumping from one paragraph to another. In the very beginning, as I did a simple ceremony to let my mom go 6 months after she passed over in 1981, the goddess came in around me in the ethers, and said softly in my mind, I will be your mother now. Little did I know that I would be a 180-degree moment, for in that blink of an eye, I was propelled to search out everything I could find about the Celtic times and lore. I felt like my very life was at stake somehow, and I spent every spare moment with my nose in books on the archaeology of the United Kingdom, stone circles, druid lore. I began having visions of myself living in those long ago times, too, sitting in a circle of women singing as they threshed grain in the mossy field of Scotland, perhaps, or uttered stillness of the priestess ceremonies in dusty caves in a doorway. You see how they lie? So, she said a woman came to her and said she would be her mother now. She's trying to say that the Holy Spirit came to her and told her that. Now, you know like hell. Y'all know and I know. That ain't happening. That probably was a demon. or a spirit or something that guide her the wrong way. That's what it was. It was a spirit. The Most High sent the spirit to lead her ass right the other way. And if she did all that research and studying and seeking, she would have found out that we are the original people. She would have known that. And I guarantee you it ain't in this damn book. I bet you that much it ain't in there. So, where was that? Oh, inner doorway. After inner doorway opened, leading me on. But honestly, those old texts left me with far more questions than answers, some seeming too distorted and fanatical to be true at all. This latest 12 years. So right there, she's reading ancient text, and she can't understand it, and she said it sounds fanatical. So that means it's not for her, and the Most High is not going to give her any. He's not going to give her the knowledge for it. So, but I'm glad she's talking about it because I'm going to find it and order it. As soon as I go back and get the name. Okay, it's called Inner Doorways. So, if somebody get it before me, let me know where you got it from. Inner Doorway. Alright, that's the name of the text. All right. Then I took a week-long workshop with a druid shaman in 1994. And that too was astonishing for he showed us how to communicate with stones, rivers, trees, and how to pass through a natural portal in our mind to enter the spirit world. Quite a stretch for a PhD psychologist trained in scientific methodology. On my first journey, a large crow was waiting for me in the deep silence, and it moved right into my body as we flew high over choppy seas with the wind in my face and my shoulders moving up and down in time to its wing strokes. Okay. How many of us has done that already? I know I have. So we can do this without being taught, laying down in the bed, because I've done it plenty of times. I didn't know what I was doing, but I've done it. I'm quite sure if you go back to like some of my old videos, I'll tell you about. I swore I was like, I'll tell you it felt like I was flying. Because I remember one time I did do a video and I was talking about that. And I was talking about flying over the sea, going to an island somewhere or whatever. And it felt so real. So that's what they call astral planing or whatever. So yeah, we're capable of doing these things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure because just like Big Judas read in his book, we trained them. We taught them everything, and then they turned around and did what? Used it against us. So they know stuff. Don't get it wrong, but they just don't know that deep magic. They don't know everything, or they do know everything and they can't do it. Finally, I landed on a sea-bound peninsula. Didn't I just say I landed on the island? This is my first one. I'm reading this too. Peninsula, where a druid stood waiting, who quietly led me up a rise into a circle of stones that I later realized were the stones of Stennis and what is in the Orkneys. The lanky druid, in his warm woolen robe, motioned me to sit with my back to an upright, and that stone came in around me slowly encasing me in its nicey, I don't know how to, nesty embrace, I guess. I don't know. Inside was a small chamber of quartz crystal, like a geode. Several of those opened slowly, quietly releasing images of past lives I lived. I lived lives of pain and failure, mainly, mainly the tiny place held all my past life memories, even my long ago descent. And it was magical beyond words for me to know I had past lives that were influencing my present. Always those journeys were utterly silent. So so I told y'all. I told y'all. So I'm here. I'm gonna say it again. You learn the Father's laws. First generation, let's put it that way. You're the first generation of Israel. All of us learn His laws, right? You live. You have children. That child has a child. That child has a child. Then that third or fourth child is being born. That's you again. Now you born. You back again. You break the Father's laws, right? So now the Father punishes you, your children, the child that you had, that child that you had, the third child that child had, and the fourth child, which is you. He what punished the children to the what? Third and fourth generation. So every third and fourth generation you come back. This is why when you die and you don't bear children, right? Your brother has to take your wife. He has to take your wife and marry her so that she can bear children. The reason why he has to take your wife is because if your brother don't do that, you will not return. Because you can come through your brother's loins because y'all both come from your father. Y'all both come from him. So you can return on either side. You can return on the first brother, the second brother, the third, whatever one the Most High chooses you to come through. But if you die, your brother can actually pass you along through your semen, your spirit. Well, it was a word some old man told me. He called it spirit. Oh God, I can't think of it. But it was talking about the semen, and it was like he was pretty much saying like your semen carries your spirit. Your spirit's in your semen, and you travel that way. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but listen, y'all, this thing's serious out here, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's so much stuff we don't know nothing. We really don't know nothing. Even all this knowledge that we've gained, and I learned a lot from Judah and other brothers. A lot. I watch a lot of Judah videos though, but just think about all that stuff we've been learning, and we still don't know nothing. Cause y'all want to hear something? 3 years ago, I was telling people we gotta learn magic. Actually, I was talking to a sister named. Sorry to put your name out here, sister. My name was Clemmy, and I was telling her we need to learn this magic. And look what's happening now. Jude is talking about it because I got all these books with magic in it and stuff. And I was literally, and if she watching the video, leave it in the comment. Let them know that I'm. That's what I really did. I literally was. We was literally talking about this, learning magic, learning it because I was being compelled to learn it for some reason. Like I got all these books on it. I'm gonna start reading them, but I'm not gonna lie, that stuff is serious, y'all. All right, let me find out where I left at, because I start running my mouth and don't know where I stopped at. I'm just gonna finish this paragraph because I'm not gonna read something people might not want to hear. So if you want me to keep going after I finish this paragraph, then I'll keep going as soon as I find it. Past memories. Okay, here it is. Silent my druid gods, not responding to the many questions I pose. After after this workshop, all life became my family again. In the most wondrous ways, I began to journey regularly to sit beneath the trees near my house, near my home, for a therapist and mother in three life was busy and often challenging. My favorite meditation happened in the morning when the day ahead felt overwhelming with the responsibilities. Now y'all know why y'all see them sitting under trees. When you go, you see white people at the park sitting under trees. Pay attention, pay attention. And I was already tired from the day before, so I went out and sat beneath a copse of what is this? A white pine outside my bedroom, and asked for peace. And in moments, the green branches above me turned to wings, and and wings. The feathered tips gently brushed my back. This this uttered magic filled me with joy and all the strength I needed for the clients I was so concerned about. This phase lasted 2 years, though I have continued the journey ever since. Guess what? So remember when Judah did the video about the ley lines, and he was saying like how they put us in places where we're not on the ley lines. They live on the ley lines. Did y'all hear what I just read? Listen again. She said, "So I went out, sat beneath a copse of white pines. She sat under a pine tree outside my bedroom, her house, right outside her house. And I guarantee your house is built on ley lines, right? Outside my bedroom, and asked for peace. She asked for peace. Listen, in moments, the green branches above me turned to wings. The feathered tips gently brushed my back. Listen, this utter magic filled me with joy." She got refreshed. Like that. You see that? I'm going to read one more. Then in 1996, I was moved to attend an 18-month school to learn energy healing, flying out to the introductory 4-day session in Sedona, Arizona, which happened to be on M Block, M Bolak. I'm sorry. On the next to last day, one of the teachers spoke to me and a couple others, saying we were all ready to have a soul merge. We said if you just ask for this and set aside any beliefs that might interfere for a few minutes, it would happen. So I did that, and immediately into my mind came a being so brilliant I couldn't see any detail, just light wafting off him in bright waves. As he moved his arms, a 9 square grid appeared on my chest, on my chest, full of strange symbols like astrological signs that I didn't understand. These were being quickly removed and replaced as I heard a click, a clickety typewriter sound. Typewriter sound in my mind. Who are you? I asked the being of light. Metatron, he said. I never heard of you, I added, and he nodded, saying, no. I like to be experienced, not read about. And that was all. No one else in the room saw the same thing. Others having completely different images and experiences in their minds. Although even those not involved in this soul merge noticed the room brightening up. It was startling in the extreme. And then I saw white fire around all the doorways I walked through for 24 hours, waking up repeatedly in the night as the fire brightened around the doorways in my room. And after that, every time anyone walked up to me in class, a Rolodex of pictures of past lives with that person began flipping through my mind's eye. On the plane home, I kept seeing past lives, my husband, my children, and had the first glimmers of understanding how all these past experiences are particularly creating the difficulties in my relationship, especially my marriage. It took about 6 weeks to get my head on straight after that one. I know y'all gonna want to hear more of this. I know. I can already tell. I already know. That was crazy, right? She said Metatron. Now I heard some stuff about this entity, but not a lot. Some people say it's the Satan entity, which we know that hell and devil is like literally made up. Now don't get me wrong, the Most High did create wicked spirits. He did do that. But they do his will. They don't do what they want. They do what they told. So, I mean, if anybody got any information on that, go ahead, drop that thing. I need to know. But I'm a look into it too. And I also found a correlation between King David, and King Arthur, and Merlin and Samuel the prophet. So, I ordered a book on it. Pretty much, they saying that David and Arthur is the same person, and they saying that Merlin is Samuel, and the stuff that happened to Merlin is actually in the Bible and it happened to Samuel. And the same thing with David too. It's crazy, right? I know. So, and I could believe that. I could believe they did something like that. They would. To make somebody a character for themselves, they would definitely do that. Yes, they would. Alright, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I know y'all gonna want to hear more. I guarantee you, because I want to hear more. Let me know. Shalom.